No, I got my helmet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably take that just to...
Yeah, here he's back for us.
Are we going to have this issue tonight? I feel like I'm never going to ride again. Supposed to be in the 50s.
Nice.
I would, you know, the day that they all die, I want to come out and watch. I do. I know that sounds awful.
Watch them fall out the sky.
So remember, for this should be filling this whole space.
Okay.
So that way, because see, it's pretty tight on his withers, and as you ride, it's just going to get tighter and tighter and tighter.
You want me to redo?
It would be the nicest thing to do.
Okay. And here's your check.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Good.
Yep. Thank you. I know.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. You didn't lose.
No, I did not.
Okay. So we're good.
Okay.
Put the reins.
I have them.
Okay.
So let's do just something real quick just to make sure he's on the right page. So since we're going to make sure that he's in the right frame of mind, the first thing I would do is something more on, like we always had trouble in the earlier days of him with the circling game. So let's see if we could do something circling him and see how he comes back to us. So especially in a case where you're going to do something new that is taking some of your confidence in your power away from you, you want to just pay attention to how much energy does he use in his departure, how much attitude does he have, the things that would matter if you needed to be worried about your control.
I have a feeling that he's going to be okay because they are looking to work right now. I think they're sick of being in that situation.
Okay.
Sick of being in the pasture.
Okay, go ahead and ask him to stop. I just want to see. Good. Much better than he ever used to be. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to make sure you have your emergency stop in advance before you get on. So that is something that you're going to do from kind of the saddle position. Did we ever do it from the saddle position? Did we ever walk with him and then ask him?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what you're going to do just to make sure you have your stop with this on.
Okay. Stand.
Here, I can... Oh. Hi, Toby Doby. Hi, Toby Doby.
Good job. Good job.
So I have a new audio thing that's actually only going into the video. It's not where you don't have me screaming out here, too. Good? Okay, go ahead and ask him to stop. To his elbow, till his feet stop moving. Try to stay in the saddle position so it makes sense to him. Yep. Okay, do another one. Go ahead and stop. Stay in the saddle position. That's the important part. Good. So we'll do one more. This time try to stay in the saddle position. Go ahead and stop. Good. So that was important that he had that moment of not being able to get you in his view. Because when you would spin him around, he'd have you in his view. You need to be here so that way he can rely on the cue, not seeing you.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I would say he's in a pretty good frame of mind. I wouldn't be hesitant to get on him.
I don't feel that.
Okay.
To get the working block.
Good boy. You might even find that your transitions within the gait are going to be much easier in the halter. Leroy didn't need to go anywhere, right? Like, I'm not blocking him? Okay.
Oh, you gotta come back.
Hey, back, back. Good boy. Over. 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 Over.
He's got his leg crossed, but he didn't commit to putting weight on it yet. There you go. Good job.
Good job, buddy. Good job. Very proud. Very proud moment. All right, guys, just do me a favor. Keep an eye out for the,
Bombers. Yeah.
thank you. I'm just so proud. I don't know what to do.
He knows his job. It's very interesting that they just suddenly, all those things that were a problem in the past just go away because you've explained to them what you expect of them as part of their job. Once they, uh, from that barrel that way, we have good view.
And you see, he's not frantically walking off.
Nope.
How he used to do. I don't even feel like.
So when you get to this corner by your trailer, I want you to do a diagonal. I want you to come across the center. And then in the center, I want you to use your stop.
The emergency stuff?
Yep, just, you don't need to ask him to do anything other than just stop, though. So just your left rein. Just your left rein. All the way to the elbow till he stops moving. Good. Give him a rub. Let him know that he's did what you asked. See how the difference, as soon as you pet him, that one ear went forward? That's how important that stuff is to them. Is when they did something and they stand there like, I don't know if I did it right. If you pet them and their ear goes forward, it's their way of saying, thank you for letting me know. Thank you for the confirmation that I did the right thing. Yeah, so never forget to do it. Okay, so let's get it interesting already. This long stretch here, see how fast you can make him walk from one end to the other. And now see how slow you can get him to walk? Less about rein, there you go. Less about rein than it is about just your body. But lift your outside rein if you want him to slow down. Good. Good. Don't leave it up if you know, unless you haven't gotten the speed you're looking for. But don't ride like that. It's a communication of you need to slow down. So go ahead and lift that outside rein and see if you can't ask him to go as slow as he possibly can. Good. And now release. Release, put the rein down. Release. See how fast you can get him to walk? So that's moving, having him believe in your rhythm that he's supposed to be rhythmic with you. He can go faster than that. No, don't slow him down. No, because he hasn't even given us that fast walk yet. So I'm looking for the fast walk now. So they're a little bit harder to steer with the halter on. So you have to just kind of plan on your direct rein being very clear. There you go. There you go.
Go fast.
Yep, still go fast. Yep, there you go. Yep. Left rein only.
Left rein only.
Yep. Okay, so now raise your left rein and ask him to go as slow as possible. Put your right rein down. Yep. Slow. Good. 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 Now release so he knows that he's doing right. Okay, how fast can he walk? Good. Good. Left rein only. Good. Now, because we want him to understand the difference between the left rein communicating brakes and the left rein communicating steer, I cannot speak today. We want to make sure that brakes is up, steer is out for right now. We're going to just exaggerate to teach him. And then it's going to help you make the communication more clear as well, because you have a tendency to come up anyway with both reins, and then you pull back for your steering, and right now it's not going to be helpful to him. So I want you to come like off his body for your turn. So like when you're trying to get him out on the rail, come off his body for that turn. Come off. Yeah, they're a little bit harder to steer with the...
He doesn't like the steering like this.
Okay, go ahead and ask him for that jog. Good. And then give back when you can, because otherwise he's going to respond to the pulling. Left rein. Left rein and sit back a little bit. There you go. There it was. It's okay.
You're doing it right. Yeah. You're doing it right.
Steer off his body to help him. Left rein up. Sit, sit, sit. There. Now let him go a little bit. Put your hands down. Good. Left rein. Sit, sit, sit. Good. Leave him alone. It's okay. Just figuring out what brakes he was supposed to use. Yeah, okay. So what we want to do is we're going to ask him for the jog, and then if he's going faster than we want, and we're trying to still establish where to find that cruise control, we're going to sit. We're going to raise the outside rein only. We're going to put that right rein down on his wither and just hold steady if it means we're steering, going straight. Then we're going to keep raising the left rein, or if you feel that he's just not responding, you're going to bend him around to his elbow and make him stop. Well, instead of steering like this, we're going to steer off of him. And then you could bend at the elbow. Yeah, we're going to exaggerate, but you can steer off and then bend at the elbow. So like you're rowing. Okay? Yeah. Good. Because right now we can't have that refined control where our reins are real quiet and our hands are kept together, because we're attached at the same spot on his halter, and because we're attached at the same spot, we don't want to pull both reins because we're just going to choke him. We're pulling it right into his throat. So we want to use only one rein at a time.
That's good to know.
I'm going to try to pull lightly. I'm not going to try to pull too hard and he breaks.
Okay, go ahead and make a circle with him. There you go. But see, that's you changed something. See how you're being delicate with the other rein now, and this rein is telling him what to do, where before you were still trying to steer like do a tight circle right there. Do a tight circle.
That's a good boy. That's it.
Again, out and around. See how you're starting to pull again? Good. Does okay.
I think I'm pulling too much and holding.
Well, you can. So good boy. So another option is you can try to tell him that he's responding properly. So now you want him to turn his head. You can pull when he gives you his turn and changes his direction. You can give back to let him know that that was the right response, and then you can pulsate that.
Okay.
And if he holds it, then leave him and let him make that turn the way you wanted him to. But if he, decides to start going straight again, then pulse him back and say, no, 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 I didn't tell you to come out of that yet.
I don't want to frustrate him.
He's not frustrated. Yep, just pull his nose around. Pull his nose around. Just yep, there you go. Good, there you go. Yeah, there you go. And you have more leverage by pulling out and around. So imagine that you just need to pull his nose around. There you go. So go ahead and do a tight circle right there. There it is. Good. So he was just lacking steering and your pulling wasn't communicating properly enough. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I understand.
I have no idea.
Well, I know why he's doing it. He knows he has a little more freedom now, so now your communication really matters. So see how you're pulling back towards you? You want to pull out and around. So do a circle right there.
I guess I have to remember how I would lead him around.
Exactly. Halter on the ground, so you just got to know how you make it work in the saddle. That same thing. Yep, pull, ask to go forward. Good. Good, and then let him go straight. You can straighten him back out. Yep. Yep. There you go. And then release when he responds properly, so that way it's not a constant pull and he's just bracing against the feel.
I think that's what I was doing. It was a constant pull. Good boy. Good boy. That's it.
Yep. Take him all the way. If you have to, take him over. Sure. Just be prepared that it might goose him forward.
That left rein so he knows that he can move his head to his right. Good boy.
Do a circle in that corner. Make sure your body's saying it too. There you go. That helps him. Good. And then bring your hands back together once you're going straight. So the only time your hands are going to come off of him are when you're trying to steer or when you're trying to offer him the slow down cue. Otherwise, your hands can stay comfortably. Like you do have a very, like you think he's a 2-year-old and he may buck any minute now kind of holding of the reins. You want to kind of have just a relaxed until it's okay. No, he's taking advantage of knowing that he has more control than you do right now. Yep.
That's it. Come on. That's a good boy. Good boy.
So unless you're steering, put your hands together and just relax. You don't have a big space right between on each side of your horn to lower your wrists onto that hump there. But if you do, there you go. Just to remind yourself that he needs a relaxed position so that he knows that he's doing the right thing, whatever it is he's doing.
Got off my leg. Boy. He's listening to me. His ears are coming back. I'm trying to do this without him.
Yep.
This is where he
Tries to come to me, then then just pull him away. Say no. So now out and around doesn't necessarily mean you climb off the saddle out and around. Try to do it with just your arm. Because you're leaning like way off of him to make that happen. And if you have to, you can literally just stop and reel him into one side and be like, I think you need to be respecting this. And if you need to, you can even stop and do nose to the elbow on each side. Just do lateral flexions to say, you need to soften up in your head here for me. So go ahead. Your goal, if I was to say you had a goal right now, it's to get past this spot right here where he doesn't come to me. Okay, do a circle right there. Yep. Yep. Good. It's okay. He followed a pattern that you were doing a full, like, double circle and a half. Okay, ask him to walk fast and do a circle in the corner. At the fast walk. Yep. 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 Don't climb off the saddle. Know what you want and you do the turn too. Do the turn in your body too. There you go. Good, and then hands back together so he knows he's doing the right thing by just going straight. And then one of the things, because you managed to get him to go past me now twice, one of the things you could do to try to challenge yourself is to see how clearly you're communicating to where you can try to come close to me and pass me. Just start to add challenges to your communication. Go ahead and circle him right there. In your body. Yep, don't let him have that. Pull him back up. Yep, and then... Yep. You stay square, don't lean off. There you go. There. Good, and then hands, there you go. It's a little bit different than with a bit. I haven't ridden in a bit in so long, I wonder even if I would know how to do it. Well, I did on Snickers, but... Good. His focus had nothing to do with me at all. So when you're ready, we're going to look for the jog and circle in the corners of each corner. So even though that's not really a corner, it's still a corner. And we're going to do it at a jog now. You're going to stay solid in your seat. You're going to turn only at your shoulder and your waist. Your hips are going to... Yeah, and then we're going to imagine corners here. Yeah. Yeah, because this was the one you're going to have probably the most trouble with anyway, because this is the one he's going to want to come to me. Yep. Yep. Okay. No, there was some naughtiness in that.
It's a different throwing his head down
Yeah.
than what I'm used to.
So try to ask him in your seat for that trot because he actually has been having a negative reaction to the kissing sound. So try to ask him in just your seat and see if you can get it just in your seat. Steer, 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 steer.
He knows. I think he knows he's got me.
Sure he does. And circle.
This is not working.
It's okay. Do you want to get his bridle?
No, I'm not gonna give up.
Well, it just could potentially mean that we're just not solid yet to where the communication is good enough yet to where he truly believes in your leadership, you know? Um, like Teddy, I have never put a bit on him, but my thoughts are if Teddy's going to be as strong with his head as he is, I might have to, just because he knows how heavy his head is, and he can get it from me even with a rope halter on. I haven't broken down and really done that yet, but it's my thoughts are there.
Should we try? What should we do?
Well, I mean, if you put the bridle back on him, then we know that we have more control of him, but we can at least stick with the snaffle bridle.
Okay.
But while you go get your bridle, can I just play with him for a second?
Absolutely. I don't want him to think he's done.
Good boy. Good boy. Really? You gonna make faces at me?
One moment.
No, I'm okay. Thanks. What? Oh, he can listen. Good boy. Come on. So, when he thought, okay, wait, I got control. So we had a moment where I had to pull this way and then pull that way and pull this way and then pull that way. And then once he understood, when I brought him to his elbow, that I have absolute control of your nose. Do you really want to play this? So it's basically like we had a conversation of, do you really want to play this game? Because we could have so much more fun if you didn't do that. So by putting him to his elbow 3 times, I think I did, then he realized that I do have control of his nose. So then it wasn't the conversation anymore. When he thought you didn't have control of his nose, you guys were having that constant conversation. And it was a lot harder for him to just be good. And then the trot, because if you saw, I left him alone with the reins completely.
The last minute, you did a circle, you didn't even move the reins.
Because he was listening to the original set. So that's what I meant by, like, if you can set his nose and then give him the benefit of the doubt that he'll hold the set, he's happier than being held into that position. And then if he were to fall out, which you can see, I don't know, you should be able to see in the video. There are a couple times you'll see, I'm like, hey, did you forget we were doing this? And that tug is not a tug of speed. It was a tug of changing the turns. Like, it's like when you're making a turn on a road and you want to make it a little bit. So that's all that tug was. Bummer. I got him. Okay, so it's just, I know what I'm trying to tell him. You're welcome to try again. I know you feel almost defeated, and I didn't mean to do that.
No.
If you want, you can go out there and kind of strongly say, oh, by the way, I have control of your nose. That's an actual itch. And then give him the benefit of the doubt. So what I basically did was I got on him, and I saw how kind of drunken sailor he was. So it wasn't long before I was already saying, hey, don't forget I have your nose, and making him come to a stop.
Do you think that might be the best thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I don't, if it's not working for you, and it's the same thing, any work that you do. If a piece gets broken for you, regardless of whether or not it was broken for me, if a piece gets broken for you, you go back to a piece that works. So that way you don't So that way you guys don't have a tug of war that's not necessary. So you got to back his front legs up or he's not going to be able to do it. Good, now over. Yep. Yep, there we go. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, he's still a little crossed in the hind. I almost want to say that was necessary, because when you got on, he was still a little crossed in the hind, so you could have made him feel like he needed to properly balance himself.
Oh, you do the left one, right?
Yep. Yep. Oh my gosh. That is a baby. That's a baby copperhead.
Baby what?
Copperhead.
You're kidding.
Nope.
Oh, no.
It's dead.
Oh, yeah, it sure is. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yep, so now bring him around to his elbow again, just to say, hey, remember this? Make sure you have the rein to do it. So you want a shorter rein. So you wanted your rein kind of half of what it is. Yep. I thought it was like a string before, so I ignored it. I thought it was like a string off of, like a sweatshirt or something. And they're just as lethal. And he does have that real slow jog. He has a very nice little jog. And all I did to get that was I raised my left rein. I think one time I grabbed him with both reins and had a mental, that's not going to work, and changed it. But I did at one point, I do believe, grabbed him with two reins. Till he stops. There you go. Yep. So I just kind of made a clicking noise behind my teeth for the trot. I didn't do a full-blown kiss. And I raised my left rein until I got the speed. There you go. And then leave him alone. There you go. See, the trick is you got to leave him alone so he knows. Because you do a lot of riding with your hands up in the air. We need to get that kind of changed. Once he's doing what you want, you need to lower your hands back down to the sides of your horn. I don't know if that's helpful to be specific about it being like that, but you need to get your hands lower. If your hands are above your horn, your hands are too loud and they're communicating something. So we want to then bend him around to the right to his right elbow. The left is just for stopping, but he can have the same lateral flexion in both directions. So you can bend him all the way to his right elbow. That's fine. Yeah, the only reason I practice to the left is because if you ever have to get off in an emergency, you don't want to wonder which side of the horse you're supposed to jump off of. So that's why I practice the stop to the left. But you can stop him to the right as well. I use the outside rein, and the reason I started doing it as an outside rein is because for the show ring, when I would downward transition from, the walk to the trot or from the canter to the walk, I didn't want to pull on my reins. I just wanted to be able to lift a rein. So I always lifted my outside rein. Yep. So you're going to have to eventually give him the benefit of the doubt somewhere. So there you go. Now leave him alone. You gotta find your speed and leave him alone, but find the speed faster so you're not riding for long periods of time with your hands in the air or the hands communicating. So get the speed you want and then put your hands down. If he's going faster than you want, get the speed you want, raising only the left rein. Sit, raise the left rein. And then as soon as you feel him transition down a little bit, you're going to let him loose so that way he knows that was the right idea. There, now leave him alone. There, leave him alone. So you got to try to lower your hand so he knows he's being left alone.
But he does because you were doing the turn.
Yeah. First ask in your seat, then ask with noise if necessary. Raise it up instead of pulling back. There, leave him alone. That's okay, because you're doing a lot of concentrating, so you're not actually doing a lot of steering, even though you think you are. Do you want to put the bridle back on for the rest of this ride, just so that you can not be frustrated at the end?
It's up to you, whatever you think.
I just don't want you to be frustrated, because I don't want that to be where you end. And if he's frustrating you, then that's not going to be productive. Honestly, one of the things that we have to change is your hands never really go to neutral. So when you ride with your hands up, so they never go into a neutral position for him to know for sure that he properly responded to whatever it was you said. So what's happening is, yeah, you're raising your left rein, but your right rein comes up too. So then you're riding like this, and then you're not demanding that he does the transition. So like this hand should demand the transition. And then as soon as he does, you want to come lower your hands back down to your saddle. So that way he knows that he did the right thing. But if your normal ride is kind of bouncing at this height above the horn, then he has a problem with, he doesn't know when he's doing it right, because there's just nothing clear about it. When you steer, it's like a out, like kind of a, I don't know, you muscle it a little bit, I guess. It's an out and around. But again, once he's put his nose in the direction you want, then you're going to try to go back as neutral as you can, because you want to set his nose in the direction that you're going to go, as opposed to micromanaging and pulling him that way. Basically, all I ask them to do is put your nose in this set point and then follow it. And if I ask his nose to be set in a circle, then he can keep following his nose.
He's pulling to the left.
Then you pull. And you do it more as a rhythmic thing, as opposed to getting into it, because he'll always win. Okay? So then you would pull, and as soon as you feel the slightest give, then you give back for a split second. If you have to pull again, it can turn, but make it more of a give and take. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt if you give to me. Oh, no, you didn't? Okay, here I come again. And then just keep making him know that you're not going to give up. But if it turns into a power to power, he knows his power. Okay, so if he's coming into that corner and he's like, I'm going this way, just tug him, and then as soon as you get going in the direction you want, you're going to just give him the benefit of the doubt that you're over it. The conversation's over there. And now let's ride. Basically, his goal is to get you to just ride. And your goal is, let me get his nose pointed